everybody. Okay, so now I'll start my presentation. I'm Ryogo Yoneda from Nagasaki University. Today, I will present my research on the impact of advertising on corporate value. This slide shows the table of contents. This graph shows the trend in annual advertising expenditure in Japan. Spending fluctuates significantly with sharp decreases seen after the Lehman shock in 2008 and the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Focusing on 2020, a year of overall significant decline. Mass media, newspaper, magazine, radio, television, and promotion media advertising saw considerable year-over-year decreases. In sharp contrast, internet advertising expenditure showed a clear increase, highlighting an initial shift in media use. Examining the more recent period from 2022 to 2023, we see a continued large increase in internet advertising relative to mass media and promotional media. This growth in internet advertising is higher than all the other types. The decline in promotional media is likely linked to reduced travel and outings. This data clearly illustrates the recent transformation of advertising media in Japan. Various previous studies confirm a positive effect of advertising expenses on corporate value. Specifically, research has shown that television advertisements have a positive correlation with corporate value. Studies using metrics like Tobin Skew have established this positive relationship. Furthermore, research suggests that the effects of advertising can persist for up to 3 years. For example, a time series analysis by Tanaka using data up to 2008 decline in expenditures so that advertising consistently increased the corporate value of Japanese companies in 2000s. This study also suggested that the positive effects have not decreased over time and might have even increased. Previous studies have established the importance of advertising for corporate value. However, there is a research gap concerning the unique conditions of 2020, marked by a significant decrease in spending due to the COVID-19 pandemic and a structural shift in media. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to analyze whether a positive correlation between advertising expenses and corporate value can still be observed despite the recent influences. We estimate a model using market capitalization, MC, as dependent variable, a proxy for corporate value, and advertising expenses, AD, as the key explanatory variable. The regression equation includes key control variables such as total assets, K, and sales growth rate to improve model accuracy. We use that for the top 300 companies by advertising expenditure for the year from 2020 to 2021. The data for control variables were collected from securities reports. The figure presents the analysis result. Due to data limitations, the final statistically significant model included R&D expenses, but it demonstrated a positive and insignificant coefficient for advertising expenses. This analysis demonstrates the positive impact of advertising expenses on corporate value was maintained in 2020, despite significant reductions in spending and media shift. Therefore, the study concludes that advertising investment remains an appropriate strategy for increasing corporate value. Finally, the study identifies the following areas for future research and challenges: incorporating R&D expenses. R&D expenses, which previous studies show have a significant importance for on corporate value, could not be included due to the limited number of companies that disclose this data. Causal relationship verification, while a positive correlation was demonstrated. Further verifications needed to confirm a direct causal relationship. The inclusion of new potentially confounding variable is necessary to rule out a spurious correlation. Comparison with past data and media analysis. The analysis was limited to 2020, preventing a comparison with pre-COVID-19 data. Therefore, the exact impact of the shift in advertising media on the magnitude of the effects remains unclear. Future research should aim to analyze advertising expenses by media to allow for more detailed comparison. These are references. Thank you for your attention.